Hi guys, Jason here, welcome back to the channel. I'm testing a brand new 50 watt MC2 build that we just completed here. This is for a player up in New South Wales. Ordered this to spec. It's been built to order based on the customer's instructions. It's a classic MC2, right? So 2-channel amp. It's got our global master volume on the front here, which I do on all of these wizard style builds. It's also got a depth pot on the rear of the amp, which the Wizard MC2 does not have, a variable depth, and it has the contour control on the rear as well. So today we're going to have a look at this contour control. I'm going to do some riffing through the looper on the axe here, send this into the amp, and we'll play with that contour pot and see what it does to the tone of the amp and feel, and maybe a quick look at what's going on from a theory perspective as well with the contour. This has a tube buffered effects loop in it as well, which you can switch in and out of the amp. I actually quite like it with it switched in. It adds a little bit more, I don't know, special kind of mojo to the feel of the thing. So yeah, look, really happy with how this one turned out. As usual, when I finish these things, I just want to keep them for myself, but this will ship. If you're interested in building one of these yourself, it's based on this PCB. Right? It's one of the PCBs you can purchase from our online store. We now have a community of builders on Facebook. There's a Headfirst DIY Builders group up on Facebook. There are nearly 500 members in the group now, and there's some guys on there that are massively experienced. So if you're a novice or a beginner, join the group, start reading some of the threads. You might be surprised that the amount of help that's available in the community, as well as help from myself. You might be able to actually tackle one of these and build yourself an amp that sounds just like this one. Stick around, guys. We'll have a look at the contour control and see what it does. Alright, so let's have a quick look at what this contour pot is doing in the circuit. So just in reference to this, right, this is our negative feedback circuit, or part of the negative feedback circuit. I'm not showing the depth here or the presence, I'm just showing what's going on with the contour pot. So this side of the circuit is connected to the 4 ohm tap of the output transformer. It's very kind of, standard, very standard negative feedback setup. Right, so what you'd normally see is this, you'd see this side connected to the output transformer through a negative feedback resistor and then into the phase inverter to provide the negative feedback, which gets cycled back into the power stage of the amp in negative form, in inverse form. So it's out of phase, right, with the input signal into the phase inverter. So with a contour pot, the way to think of this, right, so you can see it's treated in parallel. We've got a resistor here, the pot itself, and a cap. Now, it's quite clever, I think, because what it's doing, basically two things, right? So this variable amount of resistance here is a way of controlling the overall negative feedback in the amp. And this is very common, right? I do this in a lot of my builds. The Kelly amp, we have a standard kind of response control. You'll see it on the Friedman's, response pot or a response switch, which is controlling the amount of negative feedback that's coming into the amp. The lower the resistance, the more negative feedback you're having, and the more negative feedback, the darker the amp will become, a bit tighter in feel as well. But this cap here is adding a new element. So you've got to think about this like the same way you would with a treble bleed setup on a volume pot in your guitar, right? So what's happening here is that as this resistance here comes down, more signal or more frequencies are allowed to come through this pathway here, right? And the cap is kind of setting that resistive network is setting where that frequency sits. But what it means is that the lower this value, the more we're getting frequencies bypassing through here, which means you'll have the opposite effect. So the more higher frequencies that are coming through into the negative feedback will actually make the amp darker, because it has the inverse effect, right? So as the contour pot, as the resistance here increases, the amp will be brighter, and as it decreases, the amp will be darker. So it's pretty clever, right? So in reference to the sound clips that we just listened to, when the contour pot's on 10, we're getting more negative feedback and more higher frequencies bypassing through here. All right, so it should sound a bit darker. And inversely, when the contour pot's on 0, we're getting less negative feedback and less higher frequencies bypassing through here. And so overall, the amp will be a bit brighter. All right, guys. Well, please leave your comments in the comments section below. I'd love to know what you think of this video. And as always, let me know what you'd like me to cover next. Catch you later.